In this video, we will look at the Lego EV3 motors. Please pause the video now and get out box 7 from the 7-box Lego storage system. This box contains the electric parts for your Lego EV3 Mindstorms, including 2 large motors and a medium motor. Once you have box 7 out, restart the video for the discussion. First, let's get out the large motor. You just need one of the large motors, and you can find it in cubicle 7-2-1. So this is box 7, and then the 2 stands for the second row and the first cubicle. And there are 2 large motors in here, and I'm just going to get one of them out. And while we're in here, let's get out one of the cables, the connecting cables from cubicle 733, that's down in the bottom right-hand corner. And then you can put the box 7 aside for a moment. First, let's talk about the large motor's physical characteristics. I have it sitting on the table in front of me, and there is a square end on the left and a round end on the right. That square section, let's look at that. It sticks out about 1/2 inch, and in the center of that square is a hole that is square with a little notch on the top. Now, if you remember from looking and working with the brick, that is a hole to plug in one of the cables. So let's see how we do that. It's the same way that we did when we were connecting a cable to a brick. We find the little clip end. The clip always faces up and goes into that notch. And we just push it in until we hear the click. Now that cable is seated in there. And then to remove it, the same process that we've done before. Gently press the clip towards the cable and then pull out the whole cable. And remember to always be gentle when you're working with those cables. Now, in front of that cable hole, the large motor has a big section. Then there is a longer, smaller section that goes towards the front end of the motor. And then at the front end, there is a round section. That round section is the drive head. You can actually turn it. Go ahead and turn it. Only the outside part turns. You'll notice that there's kind of a central portion that is staying center. But when you turn the drive head on one side, the other side turns as well. Now, on the drive head, if you feel around, you will feel that there are 4 round holes near the edge. And you may not be able, you could feel it with your thumbnail, there is a cross hole in the center. That cross axle hole in the center goes all the way through. But the 4 round holes, they only go in as far as the depth of that first section, about 1 m in, or 1 Lego unit in. So the cross axle hole goes all the way through, and the 4 small holes, they go in just 1 Lego unit on each side. And they help you attach things to that motor, whereas that cross axle, when you put something through there, that cross axle actually gets turned by the motor. Let's look at other places that you can make attachments. There are 3 connection points on the side. One is on the top near the front, and 2 are underneath the large square section. Each one of these connection points has a cross hole in the center with a round hole on either side. And then when you turn it over to the bottom, the two connection points down here, they again have a cross hole in the center and two round holes. And the distance between them, you can feel it's about the same. It's the same width as the connection point itself. That's again one of those Lego module units. That's made so that you can fit a beam or something in there very snugly to join this to a robot. Now hold the motor so that the cable plug end is facing you. And you'll notice that above and below the plug there are three connection points. Now these three holes on either side are all round. There's no cross holes here. And they only go in one Lego module, so they don't go in very far. Now let's put this large motor aside for a moment and get out our box 7 so we can get the medium motor. There's only one medium motor, and it's again in box 7 in 731. So box 7, row 3, the first cubicle, and there's the medium motor. And you'll notice right away that it is much smaller than the large motor. So let's take that out and put our box 7 aside. So even though this motor is much smaller, it still has on the end a connection point for the cable. If you still have your cable out, you can locate that notch and put your cable in. Take that cable out. So that's the back end of the medium motor. And then on the opposite end, let's look at that. Coming out of the center is the drive shaft, and it's a cross axle. A cross axle can fit in there, and whatever you attach into that center hole will get turned by this motor. And then surrounding that cross axle, just like on the large motors, there are 4 round holes that you can use to connect other things to this unit. Now if you turn it on its side so that the top is very smooth, the bottom has 2 of the 3 connector points on it, and the side near the drive end has 2 round holes, one on the top and one on the bottom. These only go in about 1 Lego module, and they are round. There's 2 on the left side and 2 on the right side near the front, again so you can attach things to it. And then if you turn it towards the bottom, you'll see the same kind of double connection point that we had on the large motor, where there's 3 holes on each one. The center hole is a cross axle hole, and the other 2 holes are round. Now let's compare these 2 motors and talk about their mechanical properties. Now what's similar? Each motor has a built-in rotation sensor, so you can program it to move in 1-degree increments. You can do that with either the large motor or the medium motor. And then each motor can be connected to any one of the motor ports. Those are the ports labeled A, B, C, and D. You can plug the large motor into any of them and the medium motor into any of them. Now what's different? The large motor is slower, but it's stronger. It is usually used as part of the driving base of a robot, powering wheels or treads or something like that. The medium motor is faster, but it's less powerful. It's usually used to control attachments. It's lighter and can respond more quickly than the large motor. You can learn more about the specifications of each motor, including their speed, running, and stall torque in the Lego EV3 User Guide. So that concludes our look at the EV3 motors and an overview of their basic characteristics.